And Nigeria has seen a rise in skit comedy in recent times. More than 60% of Nigerians watch comedy skits amid the rise in youth unemployment. Experts attribute the rise in youth unemployment to the innate talent as well as the creativity of Nigerian youth to some of the factors aiding the skit economy, or some people may say revolution. And for more on this and other developments, we're now joined by Professor Bell Ihua. He's the Executive Director, African Polling Institute. Prof, very warm welcome.
Thank you
so that you did, loads of research, from the avalanche of graphics, scaling that graphic. But what is your assessment generally of the digital content creators in Nigeria? Are we getting nearer the Silicon Valley?
Well, Silicon Valley is a long journey, but let's put it in context. The arts, entertainment, and leisure sector in Nigeria, as far back as 2016, contributed 2.3% to the country's GDP. In 2019, the sector contributed about $5.5 billion to Nigeria's economy, and it has been estimated that that sector will grow on to about $10.8 billion by 2023.
Maybe that's why the CBN
is backing Nollywood and the whole government.
If we unpack that a bit and look more closely at Nollywood alone contributes about $600 million to the Nigerian economy every year, employs about 1 million people, excluding pirates. And yes, because by the time you add pirates, you can't, so
it's a massive
precisely. So, but what we've seen is that there's one sector that has been on the rise in the country lately, and that's this sector of the skits. And our assessment was that, for every short skit that you see, whether 30-second skit, whether 1 minute skit, there is an economy around it. There's a light man, there's a sound man, there's a cameraman, there's a costumier, there's an editor, there's a director, and ultimately someone has to put it on social media. Correct. So you find out that there is a whole economy coming around this, that people live on this. And this is a sector that sort of started informally, but is gaining so much ground and creating jobs for Nigerians.
And that leads me to my next question. Why are we seeing this rapid growth of skit comedy in Nigeria today?
Great. I can take this from two perspectives. One, the citizen's perspective, and second, the practitioner's perspective. From the citizen's perspective, there are about 4 key reasons. One is the rise in youth unemployment. Of course, we know unemployment at the moment is 27.1%. If you add that with the proportion of underemployment, we have about 55.1% of the population either unemployed or underemployed, of which the bulk of that demography are youths within the ages of 18 to 35, thereabout. And so we see this rise of unemployment. The youths are looking for ways to get themselves busy and find skits as one way. The other reason is that, comedy skits is becoming lucrative. Those who are involved in it seem to be the new level of influencers, seem to be making some money, seem to be gaining large followership, and it's becoming hugely popular. The third is that there's a need to begin to inform our people in more creative ways. Beyond the traditional means of passing on information to people, there's need to use more creative methods too.
Particularly in this time of pandemic.
Exactly.
Particularly in telling Nigerians that, look, this disease is real.
Precisely. And fourth, we have a situation where Nigerians are of the opinion that, the rise in mental health cases in the country is necessitating to Nigerians wanting to watch more skits. Because in some ways, the skits now serve as an elixir or a stress relief that people can take on a daily basis. And, just as you said, 67% of Nigerians say they watch comedy skits. And when we ask them, how often do they watch comedy skits? 45% say they watch comedy skits once in a while. 29% say they watch several times a day, and 20%.
I thought we should
have that graphics on screen. I don't know why we're not immediately having that. But Prof, let me ask you to take, you know, a kind of, not using the eyes of Nostradamus now, the man who saw tomorrow, but in the medium term, you know, in the short term, in another 5 years, where do you think skit comedy, Nigeria's digital creativity and the economy will be?
Good question. From the perspective of citizens, this skit economy, this digital content has come to stay, and it will continue to grow bigger and bigger. There were 5 major findings that came out of this study. First is because of our demography, of which 18 to 35s are almost 70% of the population, we have a huge appetite for entertainment and fun. The second is the dissemination of information. These skit artists are providing a huge role. You could say satirically, because they use satire to communicate and all of that, but they're creating, passing out great information. The third is job creation. Woli Agba, for example, employs 30 people. Brother Shaggy employs 15 people. Lasisi Elenu employs 8 people. Taoma employs 8 people. And what we are saying is that if we can support this sector and expand the base, you can have more employment, you can have more wealth generation, and you can, of course, have poverty alleviation. The fourth is the fact that social media has become the raison d'etre of, skit comedians. In the past, for you to be someone influential in the entertainment space, you needed to go and hang around studios, hang around producers, beg producers that you have talent and they'll feature you. But now social media has sort of cut off the middleman.
You just can't
with your phone you can do a little skit, put it up, and in the short while. And the fifth is that these guys are the new social influencers in the society.
Oh, fantastic!
Someone makes a post, and in a few hours,
it's everywhere. People. Fantastic! Thanks so very much, Professor Bell Ihua. You're the Executive Director, African Polling Institute. I'm sure you'll still be coming on some other of our platforms, to explain further.